The normal eye can be divided in two sections. The anterior segment, which includes the structures of the front eye, the cornea, the iris, the pupil, the lens, the trabecular meshwork, and the aqueous humor. And the posterior segment, which is the back of the eye behind the lens and includes the optic nerve head, the retinal cells, the macula, the vitreous humor, and the retinal vasculature. I will now describe the structures of the anterior segment of the eye. The cornea is the front transparent part of the outer protective layer of the eye. As you can see here is the cornea. Its bulging curvature provides the major refraction of the eye. This is the conjunctiva. It is the clear membrane that covers the front of the sclera and also lines the inner portion of the eyelids. The iris is the colored portion of the eye. It can be brown, green, blue, or hazel. That contains the pupil. It controls the amount of light entering the eye by enlarging or minimizing the size of the pupil. As we can see here, this is the iris and the hole is the pupil. The pupil is the round hole in the center of the iris through which light passes. The pupil is the actual door through which light enters the eye. The pupil appears black because there is very little light coming from the dark chamber behind it. The pupil is a hole, is not something you can touch. The aqueous humor is the watery fluid that fills the anterior segment of the eye and provides some nutrition for the surrounding parts. This fluid is constantly being produced and drained out. The lens is the resilient transparent structure in the eye that focuses light by changes in its curvature. It is located behind the iris. As you can see, here is the iris, the hole is the pupil, and behind the iris we have the lens. The trabecular meshwork is a filtration band circling and adjacent to the outer rim of the iris that constantly drains the aqueous fluid. Aqueous from the anterior segment flows through the trabecular meshwork as it travels to the canal of Schlemm. We can see here the canal of Schlemm, which is a collection canal that delivers the aqueous to the venous system of the body. The ciliary body are the muscles that control the focusing or accommodation of the eye by causing the lens to change shape. The ciliary body is also responsible for producing the aqueous. The suspensory ligaments are the long, thin fibers that connect the crystalline lens to the ring of ciliary muscles. Now, going to the posterior segment of the eye, we have the vitreous humor. The vitreous humor is a clear jelly-like substance that fills the posterior segment of the eye behind the lens. It composes 2/3 of the volume and weight of the eye and is about 99% water. In childhood, it begins as a gel and over time liquefies like gelatin in the sun, permitting the movement of fibers called floaters. Now here we have the optic nerve. The optic nerve is the bundle of fibers that carry vision-related impulses from the retina to the brain, much like an electrical cable sends electricity to an appliance being used. The integrity of the optic nerve is essential for good transmission of the visual signal. And we have it here, the optic nerve. Now here we have the optic disc, which is the point of exit for ganglion cell axons leaving the eye. Because there are no rods or cones overlying the optic disc, it corresponds to a small blind spot in each eye. Now here we have the macula. The macula is a small thinned out area of the retina, consisting almost exclusively of cone photoreceptor cells, which provide high visual acuity. In the central portion of the macula, we have the fovea centralis, and has the highest concentration of cones. It is only at the fovea that we have 20/20 vision. Now here we have the ora serrata. The ora serrata is the area of the inner eye where the retina ends and the choroid layer of the eye can be seen. Now here we have the retina. The retina is the inner layer of the back segment of the eye, which contains the layers of nerve cells that receive light rays that enter the eye through the pupil and convert these light rays into electrical impulses which are relayed to the brain via the optic nerve. The photoreceptor cells of the retina are the cones and rods. Cones are concentrated in the macula, with the highest density at the fovea. They are responsible for detail, daylight vision, and color vision. In contrast, the rods are more numerous in the periphery of the retina, and they are responsible for peripheral vision and motion vision, as well as nighttime vision. Now, the choroid is a layer between the retina and the sclera, consisting primarily of blood vessels which provide nourishment to the retina. The sclera is the tough, white, fibrous, outer protective layer of the eye. It protects the inner, more delicate structures of the eye. As you can see, this is the sclera, and it serves as the anchor point of extraocular muscles, the superior rectus, the inferior rectus, and the lateral rectus. Now I will share some fun facts about one of the most fascinating and complex parts of the body, our eyes. Eyes heal quickly. With proper care, it takes only about 48 hours to repair a minor corneal scratch. Corneas are the only tissues that don't have blood. The world's most common eye color is brown. Thank you.